Today we're going to check out the Tactical Survival Kit from Marshall Outdoors. Hey everybody. Okay, so the other day we did get this gear pack in, and admittedly it was probably the best one of the year, but that's not really not saying much from gear pack. But we did get this Tactical Survival Kit from Marshall Outdoors, so we're going to check this out. We're going to see what we got in here. There is a list, but we're going to go through it. Alright, Tactical Survival Kit list. Now, I will admit, this is actually... last year ago, a couple years ago, we got a first aid kit from Marshall Outdoors, and it was just in like a bag. This one is actually a canvas pouch. It has 2 belt loops, so that's nice. So it's something that you can actually add to or carry nicely. It does have a snapper with a little pocket here in the front, nothing in the pocket. Alright, so we'll slide that out. I do not eat. Alright, so you do get this little pouch. What's that? Another desiccant pack. So you do get a little pouch that's actually pretty good. A pouch like that, you probably pay $5 for somewhere. So we'll give them a little bit of benefit for that, because they say this is $35. So I don't know. Alright. And then you have an internal bag there. Now, one of the items is a clear plastic trash bag. Alright. Now, and that, of course, that can be used, if you're in a survival situation. You could use this to make a solar still. You dig a hole in the ground, put some vegetation in there, put a cup on the bottom. There's no cup in here, but you could use this bag it's in to collect water. And you could use this to put it on the top, weight it down a little bit so you could collect water. So that's an okay item. Alright. Then there is a coffee filter. And I just did a video where we talked about why I store up on these. This can be used to filter water. Not purify it, but filter it so that you get all the crap out of it before you sanitize it. So that's a good item. Okay, then here it says we have 2 zip ties. And zip ties have a million uses. Aim for Survival did a video where he talked about, he must have listed 50 uses for zip ties in a survival situation. So good item to stock up on. They're cheap, and there you have so many uses. So, alright. Then here, inside a small bag, we do have, is that 10 inches, 10 feet? 10 inches of fishing line. It's got to be 10 feet. That doesn't look like 10 feet, but we have some fishing line. We've got a sinker and a couple hooks. So there's 2 hooks and 2 sinkers, and those are some small sinkers. Those are the tiny ones. Yeah, it's 10 feet of fishing line. It doesn't look like it, but it's 10 feet. Alright, so we have a mini, so we have a way to produce water with the plastic bag. We have a way to filter water with the coffee filter. And we have a way to procure food with the fishing kit. Then we have some zip ties, which we can use for a lot of things. There's just a lot of uses for zip ties. Alright, moving on. We do have one of these emergency blankets. And again, these things are good to keep, usually these are used in medical conditions, to prevent shock. But they will reflect heat. They'll do a good job. They're usually very flimsy. You might get one use out of them. But if you're smart with how you set these up, you might be able to get a couple days use out of it. You could probably make if you're in a survival situation, if you were to make like a lean-to or something, and actually line the inside of the lean-to so that you have, you have more support for it, and it's there just to reflect heat off, then that could, inside the lean-to, that could actually keep it warmer, so you could not freeze to death. All right, so let's see what else we got here. A comb. I don't. I'm gonna do some research. Maybe there's other uses for a comb, but I'm bald, so I should comb my beard, I guess. All right, moving on. That's kind of a lackluster item. Let's see here. All right, and then it says here we have 5 foot of paracord. So we have a little bit of cordage. Cordage is important. One of the hardest things to reproduce in the wild. So not impossible, just difficult. Okay, let's see here. We have a couple alcohol prep pads. Those can also be used to start a fire because alcohol is flammable. We have 1 2x4 bandage. We have 4 1x3 bandages. 1 inch by 2 inch by 4 inch and 1 inch by 3 inch. Let's see here. Getting down to the nitty gritty here. We have a bar of soap. And look, this right here may seem like kind of a off item, but if you are in a bad situation, sanitation is important. So having a bar of soap, you're careful with it. Keep your hands clean. That way, while you're eating, you're not putting germs in your mouth. So that's actually a good item to have is a bar of soap. Sanitation is important. All right, let's see here. Standard book of matches, but hey, now it's a way to start the fire. Fire is important. We have an emergency whistle. Okay, I can't do it too loud. People are sleeping. But a little emergency whistle. Probably one of the better ones I've seen in these kits. It's nice and small. All right, a couple items left. All right, what have here? Oh, okay. We have 2 razor blades. So this is a cutting tool technically. You're not going to do much with it, but you do have something that you can process food with it, like fish and stuff. So good to have. I mean, they're not the best, but if you were smart, you could actually get like a small stick, and you can make like a hoku knife. Well, this is a project I never did from a pocket box just because I didn't quite understand it. I gotta do some more research into it, but use that razor blade. If you put it in a stick and you tie it off real good, then you can do some some small work. That's not really the best thing, but then we do have a button compass, which hey, it points north, so we have a working compass. And then last but not least, we got 2 safety pins in there. So okay, so $35. I don't know. Paracord's kind of expensive. I bought 100 of these button compasses for like nothing. So book of matches, you can get like I think 8 of these for like $1 at the store. A bar of soap. These things you can pick them up at hotels and stuff, but we'll say 50 cents. Band-Aids. We actually did a thing on Band-Aids. These actually add up pretty fast. This one here would probably be like 4 cents, and this one's like 10 cents, so like 14 cents for the Band-Aids. Alcohol prep pads, I can get 100 of them for $1.25, so that's like that's like 3 cents. The comb, you can get like this comes with like a Family Dollar. You can get for $1.25. You can get like this plus 3 other items. So we'll give this a quarter because it's not very good. The whistle, it was a pretty good whistle. Maybe like $1.50, $2 tops. Mercy blanket, $1.99. Razor blades. I don't know, you can probably get a pack of those for $1 or $2. Zip ties. Shoot, I buy zip ties all the time. You get like, for like $5, you get like 100 of them. You get like 50 of them about that size at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So about 4 cents. This right here probably, no, it's like negligible. Coffee filter. I got a bunch of these. They're, probably per item, most expensive is the garbage bag. Like individually, like this is the most expensive item. But even that, it's not terribly expensive. $35. I don't know. But you had like 30 because the pouch is probably a $5 pouch. So, but I think taking the whole thing, when you taking this whole thing into account as like a kit, I don't think it's bad. I bought in worse items than this, so I mean, there's that. So, because we bought that adventure kit from, was it Big Lots? That was a lot worse than this. This actually does have a lot of good items in it. So you've got minimal, but you do have cutting tools. You've got some cordage. You've got combustion. You've got a way to filter water. You've got a way to prepare food. You've got a way to create water with the solar still. You have a solar, emergency blanket for heat. You've got some alcohol prep pads. You have a little bit of first aid in there. You have an emergency whistle if you need to get help. You have a compass, so you can kind of get your way out of there. So all in all, this is not too bad. Of the Marshall kits I've seen, this is probably one of the better ones, I would venture out. I mean, the first aid kit we got was like really bad. Not that impressive at all, but for the price. But it wasn't a ripoff, but it wasn't, for the price, I've seen, this is probably one of the better ones I've seen, mainly because it has this nice little pouch. That's something you can throw that inside of a bag, and, if you're hiking or something, doesn't take up much room. And you can put a few more things in here. There's a little bit of room inside the bag, plus you have this pocket in the front. You can put a Fresnel lens in this front pocket, and then, you can use, if you run out of matches, you can use the sun to start a fire. So all in all, not too bad. But yeah, that's the Marshall Outdoors Tactical Survival Kit. I don't know about the whole tactical aspect of it, but just hand packed in the USA. So it doesn't say where the items are made. So just a quick overview. You get 1 2-inch by 4-inch bandage, 4 1-inch by 3-inch bandage, 2 X zip ties, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, a mini compass, a matchbook, 2 times zip ties, 2 safety pins, 2 razor blades, a solar blanket, a coffee filter, 5 inches of paracord, 2 alcohol wipes, 1 whistle, 2 fishing hooks, 2 fishing weights, 10 feet of fishing line, clear trash bag, medium clear zip bag. That's the bag that's all in, a medium clear zip bag, a comb, and a bar soap. So I've definitely seen worse. There's worse things out there for more money that are a lot not as useful as this. So, but yeah, there you go. That's your Marshall Outdoors Tactical Survival Kit.